When to replace versus repair. Understanding Comunidad's expectations to standardize the properties throughout the portfolio. We want to make sure that every property across the portfolio gives the same feeling when entering. Our motto is clean, functional, and safe. This is not what we are turning our units to look like. Despite what some third-party vendors say they can do to improve our units, we need to keep the motto clean, functional, and safe in mind. This unit is more in line with the motto sleek, modern, cool, and will be the new employee units that are available when turn costs are kept under $300 for an entire year. We're just kidding, of course, unless you can actually do it, and then we may have to have some serious discussions about it. So first things first in the make-ready process. This is really what we are working with. It may be sensory overload to walk into some of these units, but we should continue to remain passionate about turning units that are welcoming, comfortable, and places that our residents can be proud of and call their home. This process, unfortunately, begins with the process of trashing out a unit. A unit can come back to us looking pretty disgusting, but even if you have been turning units for years, there's no way to properly assess the condition of the kitchen when it looks like this. The only thing we can determine from this picture is that it looks like the resident has had some sort of paint party that exploded in their sink. Whatever they actually did, we don't know, nor do we care, but we do need to clean this out before we start repairing or replacing. We also need to become more proactive with our NTVs. It will now become standard Buena Vida practice to walk all NTVs to assess the condition of the unit and determine the turn cost before we lease the unit. That way, we can accurately populate the make-ready board and bill for damages on the FAS. Even if units come back to us in this condition, we still need to assess as best as we can. It is up to our staff to trash the entire unit to accurately price out the damage, complete the make-ready board, and make the necessary improvements that are needed to lease the unit. We start with one of our most high-ticket items, flooring. This item seems to blow our budget across the board, so let's review certain standards of what we at Comunidad find acceptable to be leased. Let's start with this flooring. We pretty much have the evolution of flooring here with this subfloor, plus the original floor, and the second floor, and the third, and the fourth. This poor bathroom has unfortunately been through 4 flooring renovations. It does not warrant a 5th replacement. This flooring should instead be replaced, and the unit will have an amenity premium to account for the new flooring. It really is important to be cognizant of the budget as well, and if replacing this floor pushes the price past the budget, it's perfectly okay to down the unit and turn it at a later time. What about this repair? Is this something that's a good fix? It's really hard to tell. If the condition of the entire unit is a standard, then it may be okay. It really comes up to the discretion of who's walking the unit. What about this carpet? What do we do with this? Unless this is unsalvageable, our first step is to try to spot clean and clean the carpet. And if the shampoo did the job, then it's fantastic and we can lease the unit as a standard. Otherwise, we need to get a bid from the flooring vendor. It's important to also be cognizant of the fact that if we add a big ticket item to a unit like flooring, we will need to add an amenity premium to this unit. Again, this is where the make-ready board comes into play. We don't have to explain the price savings to you, but we really do like to save money wherever we can, and of course would always prefer to do a carpet shampoo with a spot treatment versus a carpet replacement. What do we do with this carpet? This carpet completely needs to be replaced. It may be hard to tell from the photo, but the carpet was damaged beyond repair due to a stove fire. Delivering this unit as a standard would be unacceptable. This unit would command a new flooring and new appliances and would be rented as a full. If we have some areas of a carpet that have some spotting, let's try spot treating the carpet first. At $5 a pop, it's always worth it to try and spot treat as opposed to immediately replace. $55 versus $600. We'll pick $55 all day long. There are some spots that will never come out, and if this is the case, let's see if the carpet is a candidate for a carpet dye. We've included a video that may be beneficial for some that detailed just what a carpet dye can do. This before video shows a carpet in the same condition of many of the carpets in our unit.
Alright, my name is David. I'm with All Colors Carpet Dye and Cleaning, and what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through and show you the house we're doing right now. It's located on the south side of Indianapolis. This is the family room, and you can see through my shadow. You can see the stains that's here. The lighting isn't all that great here right now. These are some of the stains we're up against. And the first phase is to clean the carpet, dye prep it, get the carpet ready for dyeing. But the biggest thing that I'm going to be up against is covering over these stains and getting the stains prepped up as much as possible so they won't bleed through. Everything you're seeing so far is just one room. It looks like we have some ink stains, possibly. There's evidently that looks to be like a wax stain. I have to get that out first too. And now I'm going to take you over here to the living room. Get you a view of the living room all together. Give me 1 second here and we'll focus this thing in a little bit better. Sorry about that. There we go. This is the living room area, identified by the big window and the front door. Here you can see this carpet. Looks like they had a big area rug there in the middle. And then here you can see some more stains. This is a rental property, and believe it or not, it's whoever had it did not take that good care of it. All right. Now we're going to walk into the hallway. And once again, it's just loaded with stains. That's most likely. The people who lived here, they left 2 dogs in here, and evidently they had their way, as you can see. All right, let me see here. Here we go. This is a very small bedroom.
We have everything that this video shows that we have in the units. We have pets. We have gum in the carpet. We have stains. And now the after. Not only does the carpet dye look 10 times better than the carpet before, but it's also substantially cheaper than a replacement.
Okay, this is a family room after we just got done dyeing it. Kind of dark in here because it's like 4:30 now, Eastern time. And this is the family room, the living room, excuse me. Everything looks pretty good. Very difficult job. It was severely dirty. There's a hallway closet. And this is what it looks like down the hallway. Like I said, this is pretty simple. You're seeing basically before and after looks. But this is that other bedroom there. And here's the other room. Here's our other bedroom. This must be the master. That's the biggest one. All right, and that basically does it. Everything looks pretty good. And I got to admit, it came out much better than I thought it would, but it normally does when you dye it. This property is a rental property too, and he's very happy with it, and that he doesn't have to replace the carpet. And that's the biggest thing with rental properties, is have to turn over the carpet. If you remember right what the stains look like in this room here, they're gone. And I'm done too. So I will see you guys later, and if I come across some more dye jobs, I'll show you what the before and after are. Have a good day.
We also come across carpet that looks like this rather frequently. This carpet just needs to be stretched. Step 1 is to call the flooring vendor to utilize the warranty. If the warranty does not apply, schedule a vendor to come stretch the carpet and we're back in business. What do we do with a flooring that looks like this? It may be that the floor is very dirty and can work if it was cleaned. Step 1 will be to clean a small section of this floor to see if the cleaning will do the job. Then analyze the condition of the entire floor. This is the kitchen in the same unit. This flooring is definitely not going to be corrected with a clean. The flooring in its entirety is not fixable. But option 1, if the living room and dining room is in salvageable condition, we may be able to separate the kitchen from the rest of the area with a T-bar and just replace the kitchen flooring. If that is not an option, the common space flooring needs to be replaced in its entirety, and we will add an amenity premium to this unit. What about this flooring with 3 different flooring styles? This is what we consider value engineering, working with what you have in the shop to come up with a creative fix that is clean, functional, and safe. It may not look the best, but it is a great alternative to doing a full flooring replacement. We provide a lot of money throughout the year, so we definitely need to be taking advantages of the warranties that they cover. If you see a gouge like this, your first thought may be, just glue this down. But call Ross up, because all of this should be covered. What do we do with this stove? Cleaning has not worked for the stove, and if we look closely, there is some flooring that's missing just right below. If we replace the stove and replace the flooring, we are looking at easily spending about $545. If we're already over budget for turning this unit, we should look into alternatives, like using heat-resistant paint to cover the stains on the stove, or patching the flooring with whatever it is that we have in the shop, or even renting the floor as is to significantly bring down costs. If we could go from spending $545 to $10, those are improvements that we strongly encourage. What about this range? Can it be repaired or does it need to be replaced? Initial overview would say that it just needs a deep clean. If it cannot be cleaned, let's paint it with heat-resistant appliance paint. We're going to do a bit of an infomercial action here, but bear with us because it's really cool. The before shows a range that looks quite worn, to put it lightly. And after using the heat-resistant appliance paint on half of the stove, look what happened. The paint really shows how much better we can make an appliance look without having to completely replace. When we get stoves like this, the only thing needed is a cleaning. On a stove that looks like this, do we need to replace the whole thing? Absolutely not. This seems to be a newer range that looks like it's in great shape, with the exception of the food stains. Attempting to deep clean a range in this condition would be way more cost efficient than replacing. What about this sink? Does something in this condition get replaced? It really depends on the condition of the unit as a whole. If the unit being turned is a standard, the sink is okay as long as we can repair it to look decent with touch-up paint, buffer paint, anything that we think will do the trick. But if the unit is being turned as a mod or as a full, then the sink should be replaced. Another repair that we see being done quite frequently is tub resurfacing. How can we gauge whether we should replace entirely, resurface, or just repair/clean? We should always start with a clean to figure out the exact condition that we are dealing with. If the surface coating is chipped or in any way damaged, then let's determine whether the unit will or may be a standard or upgraded turn. If there is nothing functionally wrong with the tub, but the coating is chipped or worn, let's try and make an effort to try and resurface in-house. This video shows how a good Home Depot kit can resurface a tub for only about $25.
Hello and welcome. My name is John. I'm going to be walking through how to go ahead and paint a tub. in a wall. It's a disgusting 1970s gross yellow. We're going to be using Rust-Oleum's tub and tile, specifically made for this purpose. So far, I've gone ahead and used a sandpaper block like this to thoroughly go over it. I used Comet, some scrubs, and really cleaned it really well. Then after the fact, I have already taped the wall all the way up. And the instructions do say to go ahead and remove the metal, but I couldn't really do that without possibly having an issue. So I just went ahead and did a thorough tape job. As you can see, this right there, I put duct tape around it because wind bumped it sometimes gets a drip, and if we do get a drip, we'll go ahead and ruin the work that we've done. So again, like I was saying, I was going to be using the tub and tile. Here are the two bottles that it comes with. Mix A with B. Go ahead and use a foam roller, or not a foam roller, I'm sorry, just a normal cotton roller here, and let the work begin. Highly recommend using a respirator. I bought this for this exact purpose, as well as some good rubber gloves, because we don't want to get this on your hands. And here we are, looking pretty good, almost done. As you can see, it's still coming through, but that's to be expected for the first coat. I'm going to do the tub and call it good, let it rest for about an hour, cure up. Going to do the second coat after that. Alright, we are at the end of the first phase, and we're now starting the second coating here. I've already done a little bit. You can see this is the second coat, this is the first. Make sure you go lengthwise to get in the grout along these edges, because I noticed going up and down that it didn't get that very well. All in all, it's looking pretty good for the first coat. Once the second one goes on, I think it's going to look finished. Well, here we are. I accidentally didn't read the instructions well enough to realize that one of these does a coating for one tub, not a wall and a tub. Oh yeah, look at that. So, had to rush around, unfortunately, a local hardware store. Had some extra ones, so I had to order on Amazon again. So, shook them up, about to mix the two together, and then finish it up. You can see I didn't, the first coat there still. Got a little bit in the tub, but definitely not close to finished. Looking pretty good all in all. Definitely going to need a third coat tomorrow as well. I will say, I'm wearing the respirator still. There you go. And it is burning my eyes. The whole house smells really bad. We're going to go ahead and leave after I'm done with this for the night, maybe stay at a friend's house, because it is very powerful. So make sure you have very good ventilation, not just a ceiling fan like what I did. And here we are, finished product, day 3. Let it set for another day. Seriously, we evacuated the house for an entire day. My wife is pregnant, and the smell was unbearable. And way too much, so we stayed with a friend, no big deal. Put a second coat on the next day, let it set. This is this third day here again. Looks great. High quality, glossy finish with some bumps in it, which is exactly what we wanted. All in all, quality look is fantastic, 5 out of 5. We'll see how it holds up. And then give another review probably in a year or so. I did get some paint on the ground I got to get off there. So I'm going to let it set for another couple days just to ensure it's fully done and cured and call it good. Again, this is John, utilizing Rust-Oleum tub and tile.
Generally not bad for about $25. If it ends up being that there are perforations and considerable leaks in the tub, then we should definitely consider replacing, as the subfloor and the wood framing may be at risk or even rotting. We get a lot of tubs that look like this and want to make it a practice for vendors to stop painting the tile. It looks great in the video we just showed, but we shouldn't be resurfacing this around. Tile can't be cleaned and grout lines can't be replaced, but when the vendor paints over the tile, we can't touch up or scrape out the grout lines, and the end result is a shower that looks 10 times worse and can lead to a replacement much earlier than expected. What do we do with this bathtub and surround? Our first step is to deep clean it and see if most of the stains can be removed. If stains are removed, then we should resurface the tub and clean the surround. Is this bathtub acceptable as is? We are saying yes, even though we know that there are some discoloration and imperfections. This tub would be acceptable as a standard turn and perhaps as a mod depending on the condition of the rest of the unit. Let's move to the kitchen and bathroom areas. Another item we are seeing popping up on the make-ready boards are cabinets. Do we have to replace this frayed edge on the drawer? This could be something that is repaired using a wood marker and sealant. We should try using this product to help protect cabinets from worsening water damage. Another product that would be a great solution is Elmer's Damaged Wood Repair System. It essentially helps patch cabinets that have been damaged.
Hi, I'm Mark from Elmer's, and today we're going to be fixing this wooden window frame. I have both Elmer's Rotted Wood Stabilizer and Elmer's Damaged Wood Repair Kit. Now with this window frame, you can see various areas of rot. We're going to want to get in to clean very thoroughly any loose rotted material so that we can apply the stabilizer. This particular area I've cleaned off pretty thoroughly, so I'm just going to come by coat of my stabilizer, give it a good even coat. We're going to let it soak in for a 24-hour period. If it drips, that's just fine. The whole idea is to let this soak in thoroughly just to prevent any rot from continuing to occur. Let that sit up for a good 24-hour period, and then I can come to a pre-treated area over here of damage that I'm going to use my two-part epoxy to fill. I've got both a resin and a hardener material. I'm going to mix equal parts resin and hardener together, and it's rather putty-like. When you get to a uniform color, then you know you've mixed it in pretty thoroughly and you'll be ready to apply it. You've got about 20-30 minutes before it begins to harden, so you've got some time to mix it up thoroughly. I've used this particular material to fill cracks in deck posts. Hardens up great. You can then go over and sand it and stain it. Here, now you could use a putty knife to further shape it. This particular damage here seems to work just fine by working it in with your fingers. You may not need all of the material that you grabbed initially, and that's fine. So just loosely form it into the shape. Don't worry that you're not exact, because in 24 hours after this hardens, we're going to come by. We're going to sand it, get a nice uniform shape, at which point you're ready to stain or paint, and it'll be great for years to come. Find more helpful tips and other project ideas at
If this drawer does not have to be replaced, let's look into replacing only the face of the drawer, if everything else is still operational. Otherwise, if the budget allows, we should paint the cabinets and follow mod pricing for the unit if the overall condition allows. On this drawer, only the face needs to be replaced. This can definitely not be repaired with the Elmer's solution. When you walk into a unit and see a drawer that looks like this, do not freak out. This is only missing a particle board shelf. It's definitely an easy repair. On these cabinets, let's edge these corners with a touch-up marker and sealant. At initial glance, these cabinets are clean, functional, and safe, and the unit can be rented with few improvements. These cabinets also appear to be in great condition. In addition to cabinets, we also see quite a bit of countertop resurfacing. During an NTV walk, we do what we can to try to assess the unit as it currently is, but during a unit vacate, we need to make sure that the surface areas like these are cleaned before we can determine whether or not resurfacing is needed. With something like this, do we completely resurface or do we leave it as is? We may be able to repair or touch up with simple products like these. A countertop like this, where over 50% is damaged, would warrant a complete resurfacing. What about this countertop? If we could try and buffer out some of the marks, the countertop would be fine as is. Could we try cleaning this, or perhaps using a Mr. Clean eraser for this? Or repair something like this since it's such a small area? This countertop is great as is, and we would be fine renting the unit in this condition. What about a countertop that looks like this? When you look closely, you see that pieces of tape were resurfaced, and the chips in the resurfacing are actually the tape that has been pulled off. This is why we should always make it a point to review a vendor's work. The original resurfacing should have never been acceptable. The ideal solution for this would be to try and touch up the spot, as the rest of the countertop is in great condition. If that does not work, it may be best to resurface the entire area. This is something that should never be replaced. This could be fixed with a touch-up pin. Here, the manager did a great job with this countertop. It has a small stain, and she was able to conceal it with a welcoming decal. Small workarounds like this are always appreciated and welcomed, especially when the costs for a turn have already exceeded budget. Without a doubt, we all know that 99% of our units require paint. We just want to make sure that we are not painting all units all the time, just out of practice. We want to try and touch up whenever possible. Is this something that requires a touch-up or a full paint? We would say that this could be done with a touch-up. Is this just a touch-up? We'd probably say yes. What would we do with this? Paint peeling on a door. We could sand it down and paint it, but would it be cheaper to replace? Is this only a $30 fix? We want to try and eliminate repairing things when it is not cost effective to do so. For example, spending 3 hours to sand and paint this door is less cost effective than repairing the door when it's $30. How many window treatments have we seen that are like this? Something like this would be replaced every time, as it is not acceptable to move a resident in as is. This is also something that should be billed to the prior resident for damage during the NTV walk. What about a blind like this? We would not replace this blind. If we could bend the blade back into shape, or just remove the blade entirely, we would consider that a great fix. We want to have all of our staff be like Buena Vida superheroes in the way that they do amazing things to turn our units. To arm you, we have found a solution to end all of your problems. It leases, it turns, it evicts all bad tenants. In actuality, it really just helps as far as turns are considered. Pistol Pete's is a new cleaner that has actually helped take wax out of the carpet, disinfect kitchens, clean oven grease, and wipe graffiti off concrete. So far, the possibilities seem endless for this miracle cleaner. You should have some of this on site already, but if not, definitely let us know. Second cleaner we would like to put into use is Mr. Clean Eraser. This works wonders on erasing kids' Picasso works from the walls or cleaning stubborn grout in bathrooms. If Elmar's wood repair works as great as it did in the video, it should definitely be added to our arsenal of tools. Shellac also seems to be a great protector for water damage and just drawing out the life of our cabinets just a little bit longer. If we could figure out a way to do tub resurfacing in-house, this Rust-Oleum product may be a great solution. Same with the Rust-Oleum products for countertop resurfacing. We do not intend to completely change the way you turn units. We just want to make sure that we explore alternatives for repairing that are more cost-effective than replacing. If you have any questions or find a great product that you would like to share, please never hesitate to contact us. We are always open to questions or suggestions.